Here are Grandma's 45 food hacks you didn't know worked. Add a dash of cold water to make fluffier scrambled eggs. A splash of cold water can transform your scrambled eggs into a fluffy delight. According to Grandma, when water heats, it turns to steam, creating tiny air pockets in the eggs as they cook. Simply whisk in a tablespoon of cold water for every 2 eggs before cooking. Cook the mixture on low heat, stirring gently for soft, airy results. This simple trick ensures light, cloud-like scrambled eggs every time. Try it for breakfast or brunch perfection. Mix a spoon of mayonnaise into cake batter. Did you know that mayonnaise can make your cakes incredibly moist and rich? Its oil adds moisture, while the eggs in mayo enhance the structure of the batter. Stir 1 or 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise into your cake mix before baking. It blends seamlessly without affecting the flavor. This hack works particularly well for chocolate cakes, leaving them soft and luscious. Try it next time you bake and enjoy a tender, bakery-quality cake straight from your own oven. Add cocoa powder to chili. A dash of cocoa powder can elevate the flavor of chili by adding depth and richness. The natural bitterness of cocoa balances the spiciness and enhances the overall taste. Add 1 teaspoon of unsweetened cocoa powder to your chili during the simmering stage, stirring well to combine. It won't make the chili taste like chocolate, but will give it a complex, savory profile. Use bread crusts to soften hard cookies. Revive hardened cookies using bread crusts. The moisture from the bread transfers to the cookies, restoring their softness. Place the cookies in an airtight container, along with a few pieces of bread crusts. Seal the container tightly and let it sit overnight. By morning, the cookies will have absorbed the moisture and regained their chewiness. Discard the bread before serving. This hack is perfect for bringing leftover cookies back to life. Add a carrot to burnt soup. A raw carrot can salvage soup with a slightly burnt flavor. Carrots are natural absorbers, drawing out bitter, burnt notes while adding a subtle sweetness. Peel and halve a carrot, then drop it into the pot of soup. Simmer for 10 to 15 minutes, then remove the carrot before serving. Taste and adjust seasonings if needed. This simple trick can save your soup from being wasted and still make it a hearty, delicious meal. Soak potatoes in cold water before frying. Cold water soaking removes excess starch from potatoes, resulting in crispier fries. Starch can make fries stick together and cause uneven cooking. Slice your potatoes and soak them in a bowl of cold water for 30 minutes or longer. Drain and pat them dry before frying. This process also prevents them from turning brown while preparing. The result? Golden, crispy fries with a tender interior, perfect for dipping or enjoying on their own. Add a bay leaf to flour storage. Bay leaves act as a natural insect repellent, protecting your flour from pests. Their strong aroma deters weevils and other insects. Place 1 or 2 dried bay leaves inside your flour container, ensuring they're not directly in contact with the flour. Replace the leaves every few months to maintain their effectiveness. This simple addition keeps your pantry staples fresh and bug-free without the use of chemicals or expensive pest control products. Rinse onions in cold water after chopping. Rinsing chopped onions in cold water reduces their strong, pungent bite. The water washes away sulfur compounds that cause tears and overpowering flavor. Place the chopped onions in a bowl of cold water for a few minutes, then drain and pat them dry. This method is especially useful for raw onion dishes like salads or salsas. You'll enjoy a milder taste without compromising the onion's crunch and texture. Add a pinch of cinnamon to coffee. A small amount of cinnamon can transform your coffee into a warming, aromatic treat. Its natural sweetness and spice complement coffee's bitter notes perfectly. Grandma would add a pinch of ground cinnamon to her coffee. Cinnamon also contains antioxidants, adding a small health boost. This hack works wonderfully in lattes, black coffee, or even iced drinks. Melt butter in tomato sauce for creaminess. Butter adds richness and smoothness to tomato-based sauces. Its fat balances the acidity of tomatoes, creating a velvety texture. Stir a tablespoon of butter into your simmering sauce just before serving, allowing it to melt completely. The result is a creamy, flavorful sauce that clings beautifully to pasta. Use this tip for marinara, bolognese, or even pizza sauces. It's a simple yet effective way to elevate any tomato-based dish. Add fresh bread to brown sugar to soften lumps. Hardened brown sugar can be softened with a slice of fresh bread according to Grandma. The moisture from the bread is absorbed by the sugar, breaking down lumps and restoring its texture. Place the sugar and a piece of bread in an airtight container, sealing it overnight. By morning, the sugar will be soft and easy to use. Remove the bread before storing long-term. Use club soda in pancake batter. Club soda can make your pancakes lighter and fluffier. The carbonation introduces tiny air bubbles into the batter, giving the pancakes a soft, airy texture. Replace part of the liquid in your recipe with club soda, stirring gently to preserve the bubbles. Cook as usual on a hot griddle. Reuse pickle brine for parboiled vegetables. Don't toss out pickle brine. It's a great flavor enhancer for vegetables. The vinegar and spices in brine add tang and depth. After parboiling veggies like carrots or green beans, toss them in a small amount of pickle brine and let them sit for 15 to 20 minutes. Drain and serve them as a zesty side dish. This tip not only reduces waste, but also turns simple veggies into something special. Mix miso and butter for roasted veggies. Combining miso paste with butter creates a savory glaze that elevates roasted vegetables. Miso's umami flavor pairs beautifully with the creamy richness of butter. Mix a tablespoon of miso with softened butter and toss it with your favorite vegetables before roasting. Cook at 400 degrees Fahrenheit until the veggies are golden and tender. This flavorful combination works particularly well with root vegetables like carrots, sweet potatoes, and parsnips. Replace water with coffee in cake mix. Coffee can intensify the flavor of chocolate cake by enhancing its richness. The roasted notes in coffee complement the cocoa, creating a deeper, more complex taste. Replace the water in your cake mix recipe with an equal amount of brewed coffee, cooled to room temperature. Mix and bake as directed. This hack is perfect for mocha-inspired desserts or anyone who loves a bold chocolate flavor. Try it with brownies or cupcakes too. Add a slice of lemon to boiling rice. Adding a slice of lemon to your rice pot can enhance its flavor and texture. The acidity of the lemon helps keep the grains separate while cooking, preventing clumping. Simply add a thin slice of lemon to the water when boiling your rice, then remove it before serving. This method also imparts a subtle citrus aroma. Use this trick for pilafs or dishes that benefit from a fresh, zesty twist. Brush pastry with egg wash mixed with milk. A blend of egg wash and milk creates a golden, glossy finish on baked goods. The egg provides structure, while the milk adds shine and a hint of richness. Whisk 1 egg with a tablespoon of milk and brush it over pastries, pies, or bread before baking. This mixture also helps toppings like sesame seeds adhere better. Your pastries will emerge from the oven with a bakery-quality appearance. Use eggshells to clarify broth. Eggshells can clarify cloudy broth by attracting impurities during boiling. The calcium in the shells binds to particles, making them easier to remove. Crush a clean eggshell and add it to the simmering broth, then strain it out along with the impurities. This technique is particularly helpful for homemade stocks or soups. The result is a clear, clean-tasting broth that's perfect for delicate dishes like consommé or noodle soups. Sprinkle salt on cutting boards before chopping herbs. Sprinkling salt on your cutting board prevents herbs from sticking and enhances their flavor. The salt absorbs moisture, allowing the herbs to chop more cleanly and evenly. Scatter a pinch of salt across your board before chopping fresh herbs like parsley or basil. Not only does this make cleanup easier, but it also releases aromatic oils, intensifying the herb's taste. Put celery stalks in bread bags. Celery stalks can help keep bread fresher for longer. Their natural moisture prevents the bread from drying out. Place a few celery stalks inside your bread bag, ensuring they don't directly touch the bread to avoid sogginess. Seal the bag tightly and replace the celery every few days. This trick works especially well for homemade or artisan bread, maintaining its softness without introducing preservatives. It's a simple, effective way to reduce waste. Use stale bread to clean coffee grinders. Stale bread is a simple way to clean coffee grinders. Its coarse texture absorbs residual oils and removes lingering grounds. Tear a piece of stale bread into small chunks and pulse them in the grinder for a few seconds. Discard the crumbs, then wipe the grinder clean with a dry cloth. This method keeps your grinder fresh, ready for your next brew, and prevents flavor contamination between different coffee beans. Wrap lettuce in a damp paper towel. Keeping lettuce fresh is easy with a damp paper towel. The moisture maintains crispness while preventing wilting. After washing and drying the lettuce, wrap it in a slightly damp paper towel and place it in a resealable bag. Store in the fridge and check the towel occasionally to maintain dampness. This method works well for romaine, iceberg, and leafy greens, extending their shelf life and saving you from unnecessary waste. Keep bananas fresher with plastic wrap. Plastic wrap slows banana ripening by reducing ethylene gas emission from the stems. Wrap the stems of your bananas tightly with plastic wrap as soon as you bring them home. Rewrap as needed after removing individual bananas. This small step can delay ripening by several days, keeping your bananas firm and flavorful longer. It's a particularly useful trick if you're buying bananas in bulk or for a household. Put rice in salt shakers. Rice absorbs moisture, keeping salt shakers clog-free in humid conditions. Add a teaspoon of uncooked rice to your salt shaker and give it a gentle shake to distribute the grains. The rice will prevent the salt from clumping, ensuring a smooth flow. Now replace the rice periodically for best results. This simple trick works well in kitchens, outdoor barbecues, or anywhere. Humidity might interfere with your seasoning. Use a cloth bag for mushrooms. Mushrooms stay fresh longer in a cloth bag. Unlike plastic, cloth allows air circulation, preventing condensation that causes spoilage. Place your mushrooms in a clean cloth bag and store them in the refrigerator's crisper drawer. Avoid washing them before storage to reduce added moisture. This method keeps mushrooms firm and flavorful for up to a week. Use this hack to preserve their earthy texture and taste for soups, sauces, or sautés. Boil corn with sugar for sweetness. Adding sugar to boiling water enhances the natural sweetness of corn. Sugar seeps into the kernels, intensifying their flavor without making them overly sweet. Fill a pot with water, add a tablespoon of sugar, and bring it to a boil. Drop in the corn and cook until tender. Avoid adding salt, which can toughen the kernels. This hack guarantees flavorful, juicy corn, perfect for barbecues or weeknight dinners. Store nuts in the freezer. Freezing nuts prevents them from going rancid. The cold temperature slows the oxidation of their natural oils, preserving freshness and flavor. Place nuts in an airtight container or resealable bag and store them in the freezer. They'll stay good for months without absorbing odors. Thaw at room temperature before use or toast them directly for a richer taste. This trick works for almonds, walnuts, pecans, and more. Sprinkle salt on citrus before juicing. A pinch of salt can extract more juice from citrus fruits. Salt breaks down the fruit's cell walls, allowing the juice to flow freely. Before juicing, sprinkle a little salt on the cut surface of lemons, limes, or oranges and let it sit for a minute, then squeeze as usual. This tip is particularly helpful for recipes requiring a lot of juice. You'll notice a difference in yield and ease. Use baking soda to tenderize meat. Baking soda makes meat more tender by altering its pH level. This prevents the proteins from bonding tightly, resulting in a softer texture. Sprinkle a teaspoon of baking soda over your meat and let it sit for 15 to 20 minutes before rinsing thoroughly. Cook as desired. This method is ideal for tougher cuts like beef or pork. Pair it with a flavorful marinade to elevate your dish even further. Store avocado with onions to delay browning. Onions release sulfur compounds that slow avocado oxidation. Place a cut avocado in an airtight container with a few onion slices, ensuring the flesh doesn't directly touch the onion. Store in the refrigerator for up to 2 days. This hack works well for guacamole or leftover avocado halves. It's an easy way to keep your avocado green and fresh for longer, reducing waste and enhancing presentation. Add salt to rhubarb to reduce acid. Rhubarb's sharp acidity can be mellowed with a touch of salt. Salt works by balancing the sour flavor, making it more palatable for both sweet and savory dishes. Sprinkle a small pinch of salt over your rhubarb slices and let them sit for a few minutes before rinsing and cooking. This step enhances the natural flavor without overpowering it. Perfect for pies, jams, or even chutneys, this tip brings out the best in rhubarb. Save veggie scraps for broth. Vegetable scraps are full of flavor and nutrients, making them perfect for broth. Carrot tops, onion skins, and celery leaves add depth and richness to your stock. Collect these scraps in a freezer-safe bag and store them until you're ready to use. Simmer them in water with herbs for about an hour, then strain. This eco-friendly hack saves money and turns waste into a delicious base for soups and stews. Make fish stock from trimmings. Aside from veggie scraps, fish trimmings, like heads and bones, on the other hand, are loaded with flavor and collagen, ideal for stock. Rinse the trimmings well, then simmer with water, vegetables, and a splash of white wine for 30 minutes. Strain the liquid, and you have a rich, savory fish stock perfect for chowders or risottos. This method makes the most of leftover parts, reducing waste while creating a flavorful ingredient for seafood-inspired dishes. Cook stews long, low, and slow. Grandma's secret to a perfect stew is cooking it gently over a long period, hence the long, low, and slow hack. Low heat allows tough meat fibers to break down and flavors to meld beautifully. Combine your ingredients in a pot, bring to a simmer, then lower the heat and let it cook for several hours. Stir occasionally to prevent sticking. The result is a tender, hearty meal bursting with deep, comforting flavors. Shred chicken with a stand mixer. Who would have thought that shredding chicken is faster and easier with a stand mixer? The paddle attachment breaks cooked chicken into perfect pieces quickly. Place warm chicken into the mixer bowl, attach the paddle, and run it on low speed for about 20 seconds. The result is evenly shredded chicken ready for tacos, salads, or soups. Use pasta water for sauce. Pasta water is Grandma's secret weapon for making sauces silky and sumptuous. The starches released during boiling help sauces bind to the pasta, creating a restaurant-quality finish. After cooking pasta, reserve a cup of the water before draining. Gradually add it to your sauce, stirring until the desired consistency is achieved. This trick enhances the flavor and texture of your dish. It's particularly great for creamy or tomato-based sauces. Cook bacon in the oven. For evenly cooked, crispy bacon, the oven is your best friend. Baking allows heat to circulate evenly, avoiding burnt edges or soggy spots. Arrange bacon slices on a wire rack placed over a baking sheet and bake at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 to 20 minutes. Cleanup is easier too, as the grease drips into the pan. This method works well for making large batches, perfect for breakfast spreads, or recipes requiring crumbled bacon. Soak wooden skewers before grilling. Did you know that soaking wooden skewers in water prevents them from burning on the grill? The water saturates the wood, keeping it cool as the food cooks. Submerge the skewers in water for at least 30 minutes before threading your ingredients. This step is essential for kebabs or grilled appetizers. Whether you're grilling vegetables, chicken, or shrimp, pre-soaked skewers ensure your meal cooks evenly without charring the sticks. Boil milk before frothing. Heating milk enhances its frothability, creating a creamy texture perfect for lattes or cappuccinos. Boiling stabilizes the proteins, making it easier to achieve and maintain foam. Warm the milk in a saucepan until small bubbles form, then use a whisk or frother to create foam. This method also amplifies the milk's sweetness, adding a subtle richness to your coffee. Experiment with different milk types for varying foam densities. Use coffee grounds to deodorize hands. Coffee grounds are excellent for removing stubborn odors like garlic or fish from your hands. The grounds act as an exfoliant while absorbing the offending smells. After handling pungent ingredients, rub a small handful of used coffee grounds onto your hands, then rinse thoroughly with water. Your hands will feel clean and refreshed with a faint coffee aroma. Rub lemon on apples to prevent browning. Lemon juice is an easy way to keep apples looking fresh. The citric acid in lemons slows the oxidation process, which causes browning. After slicing apples, lightly rub them with a lemon wedge or drizzle lemon juice over them. Toss to coat evenly and refrigerate if needed. This trick works great for fruit salads, lunch boxes, or party platters. The mild tang from the lemon also enhances the apple's natural flavor. Grind spices with a mortar and pestle. Grinding spices manually releases their essential oils, intensifying their aroma and flavor. A mortar and pestle allow for better control over the texture, whether you need coarse or fine results. Add your spices to the mortar and crush them with firm, circular motions. This method preserves freshness, better than pre-ground spices, and is ideal for seasoning rubs, curries, or teas. It's a simple tool that brings an authentic touch to your cooking. Add baking soda when boiling eggs. A pinch of baking soda in boiling water makes peeling boiled eggs a breeze. The alkaline in baking soda changes the egg's pH, reducing its adherence to the shell. Add half a teaspoon of baking soda to the water before cooking your eggs. Once cooked, cool them in ice water and peel easily. Use ice cubes on fatty soups. Removing excess fat from soups is simple with ice cubes, and it's one of Grandma's best-kept secret food hacks. Fat solidifies upon contact with cold surfaces, making it easier to skim off. Wrap a few ice cubes in a clean cloth or spoon them directly over the soup's surface, then remove the fat that gathers around them. This technique works well for stews, broths, or gravies. It's a quick way to create a healthier, leaner dish without compromising flavor. Sprinkle salt on watermelon. A sprinkle of salt on watermelon enhances its natural sweetness. Salt contrasts with the fruit's sugars, intensifying its flavor profile. Lightly dust your watermelon slices with a pinch of sea salt just before eating. This method works especially well with less ripe melons, bringing out their hidden sweetness. Try it with other fruits like cantaloupe or honeydew for a refreshing, savory twist on your summer favorites. For more contents like this, click here to subscribe.